Okay, boys, it's me, Tiago.
This is Lobo Ibérico, straight from the Portuguese wrestling capital, Almada. And you're watching CCP Podcast. Shut up!
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? And you can't see me. I'm not John Cena, I promise. I am Chris Page, and I'm going to work on, I don't know, getting my camera up because, I just didn't do it. Welcome to Beyond the Bell, guys. I'm Chris Page, obviously, and we're starting off on a terrible foot production-wise. That's what happens when you're live. We got a fantastic show today. I got that sorted out. I fixed one screen and not the other. Blame me later. Guys, it's going to be a fantastic show. UK Paul, see you in chat, buddy. No game, I see you in chat. Welcome to the show. We've got a fantastic little program coming to us today. Our guest. Listen, when I talk about tag team wrestling, anyone who has followed us on this channel knows that I have a deep admiration for the tag team wrestling scene. Our guest today, the inaugural, the first ever, the Portuguese national tag team champions. We've seen them on WrestleFest. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beyond the Bell Live. I have got Stefan and I have Michael Stu. They are the Stews. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having us. It's
Yeah, baby.
it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure to finally be here.
Yes,
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
we have been talking and trying to get this done and set this up and get the time available because I wanted to pick your guys' brains so hard on so many different things, and this is going to be a fantastic opportunity to do it. The pleasure is all mine. I appreciate the time because I know it's a little bit late over there for you guys, but to have you sitting here, belts right there on display, fantastic. Um,
Yes.
Before we dive into anything, super serious, let's talk about little odds and ends. How did you get started? How did you fall in love with professional wrestling? What was something that led you guys to getting into the profession? What was your go-to moments?
All right. I'll go first then. So for me, it was really when obviously we're not Portuguese.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
we're not Portuguese, by the way.
yeah.
Just
So we
sorry
are from a
if this.
country named Moldova. So we came here when we were both kids, basically, and I think that was the first time when I saw it like on television. So it was like really nice. It was really different, you know. And as soon as I watched it, I was like, "Oh man, this is so nice." At the time, you when you were a kid, like you actually believe everything that you see in there. So I was really like fascinating for that. And then I took it like when they say like don't try this at home and stuff like that. Well, we tried it, and at school as well. So I think most of the people did, you know. And then years later, like to find that there was wrestling in Portugal, especially like 15 minutes away from my house. It was unreal. So I literally had to go there and see it by myself. And that's when I found out that this guy was there as well, mostly almost at the same time. So I think it was a sign, man. So from then on, I just keep following with.
What about
Yeah,
you? What about
so
you, Michael? Give me your story.
so it's almost like the same thing. Like I just remember watching on TV here because at the time wrestling was really big in Portugal. Like we're talking about like '06, '07. So we had like wrestling on like just regular like big channels in Portugal. So like everybody at school was talking about wrestling. And I remember like being very little, going to his house and just talking about wrestling all the time and like setting up like wrestling matches even when we were little. And then like the funny thing is, we were always like just talking about wrestling like since we grew up, and like we did not even plan to go to wrestling training together. So that's the funny thing. Like I went to my first training session like by myself, and then I found out that he was going like there as well. So yeah, it was like destiny, you know.
Yeah, man. What year was that? When did you guys cross paths at the training
I
facility?
think
I think 2017.
no, it was way before. I think when we found out that we were training in the same one, I think it was about 2015, beginnings of 2016.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
don't
something
quite
like that.
remember, but yeah, I was like very, very like little,
We were
man.
some kids, man.
I was like a skinny boy.
I used to be skinny. I don't remember those days. I have
And
pictures that
I was
prove it, but I think I ate my former self at some point in time. Uh,
I was
Mike,
really skinny.
Michael? Who were some of your early inspirations when you were watching professional wrestling? Like some of the
Oh, Jeff
guys,
Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy,
See,
man.
what's
Hardy.
what's up with everybody of the younger generation I talk to? Jeff Hardy's on
Man,
top of the list. What is it?
it's like God for me, man. You know, he's God. I can't explain it, man. Like it's the aura when you were a kid and like you see like that guy. You want to be just like that guy when you grow up. I cannot explain it to you, you know. I really love Jeff Hardy. And like maybe he's not like the best technical wrestler of all time, but when you see him as a kid, it hits different, you know? It's
He has
not like the same when I see him now.
he has presence. He has that presence. Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
seeing a star. I get it in that regard, absolutely. Stefan,
yeah, yeah.
how about you, man? What was one of your guys that you were looking up to, or that you know, it's like, fuck, man, this is my dude.
Oh man, I've I've gotta say, gotta be honest, man. I had them chosen as well, but I gotta be honest. It was a particular time that it was. Was- Oh, it was when I first started seeing it. I would say the Animal Batista, man. Uh,
Okay.
that
Fuck yeah.
that was the first time that I saw like on TV wrestling. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was him interrupting a segment between Edge and Vicky. It was something like that. Um, and then from then on, I just fell in love. And him and also Jeff, man. Just gotta say, he was not the biggest guy. He was not the most technical guy, but he had the aura. He had the presentation with him,
Yeah,
and I think that what took me, especially to '08 and '09. Oh man, that was crazy.
connectability is what I see when I do
Thank
see Jeff Hardy. I do want to go over to our chat real quick. Steve-O Wrestler 1, 11:07 p.m. in Lisbon, Portugal. Stews are great guys. And then they also
You
said Jeff Hardy
you.
has the it factor plus the swanton. So I just wanted to
guys,
throw that out
yeah.
there. When
That's the thing.
no, go ahead.
Let's fucking go. Jeff Hardy, man.
When
Big,
you guys are getting started,
big influence.
when you're getting started on the Portugal scene and you're trying to break in, something I've learned from speaking with Nelson and Lobo, and Paulo Cruz, and Ricky Boy and Damiel is that the scene there was back in the heyday in the
Yeah.
60s and 70s. Like it was a really big situation, and then it just kind of trickled down, and for whatever reason it went away, and now it seems like, at least with WrestleFest, and I know that there are other companies that are in Portugal that are operating. I haven't had an opportunity to deep dive them like I have with WrestleFest. With WrestleFest specifically, though, you guys are on the the cusp of what I feel is breaking some serious ground, not only for yourselves but for generations to come. What's it like to, kind of, if you haven't even thought about it from that perspective, but if to see it from that light, that the guys that you get, what you're doing now is not just for you. It's going to be a much bigger deal in the next 5 to 10 years, probably bigger than any one of us could even fathom. Michael, what are you thinking about
Man, like I didn't even think like about it as you said, you know. As I think like you're right, it's definitely growing and growing and growing and growing and we hope it stays this way. And yeah, I'm really happy that we are in this situation and I'm really happy that we find ourselves where we are right now because when we started it wasn't nothing like this, you know. When we started there was like no scene, there was nothing, almost nothing. There were like almost no Portuguese wrestling shows going on. and to see that right now we have like I don't know, like two shows like per month, that's like amazing. And and like we're at our peak right now, I could say, so I'm really happy that like when wrestling, like in Portuguese wrestling, is at its peak, we are at our peak as well. So, and I think like, nah, I'm just like saying we are at our peak, but I don't think like we can reach even higher,
Oh
so we're
yeah,
gonna keep on for that.
I
We're
totally
gonna keep on working.
totally feel
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you're coming for with that. That's more of a this is the height that it's been in quite a long
yeah,
time.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. This is like
Yeah.
the biggest it has been in a long, long time, So we are really happy to be part of it right now in this moment. And like for the future generations, I just hope like they just continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow because Portuguese wrestling is good and it deserves to be seen. So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, no doubt. Stefan, let me ask you this. So, when you, and I also understand that, with the scene in Portugal, like there's been growing pains. It's not just something that's happened overnight. I tell people all the time, Rome wasn't
Yeah.
built in a fucking day. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes energy. When you're starting out with training, and then Michael, the same question for you. When you're starting things out, everybody has a little difficulty here and there picking up odds and ends. What were some of the difficulties that you guys faced as you were getting started, and how did you overcome them?
So,
So sorry, man, I'll go with this one. So for me, s- um, like in training, the training part, I gotta say, I really adapted really quickly to it. Like the physical part, I can adapt like really quick to it. Now the psychology behind the matches and stuff, that took me a while, especially the first time we were
yeah.
presented this face. Oh man, I gotta say, like that was one of the toughest challenges that I had to do because um you have to put the crowd like behind you, you know. It also takes a good heel to do that as well. But for me, I don't know, being like a face, it didn't feel like myself. So it was really hard to overcome that. For a while I could, but then after that I just changed to heel, and then from then on it was the best times that I had in the ring. But yeah, I gotta say, physically I could adapt easily, but the biggest issue was just that, like being a really nice and good face. That was one of my difficulties at the time.
Yeah. So I believe like when we start wrestling and we go like to a match, it's like we get so nervous that we only think like, so spot, what's the next spot? What's the next spot? So like the most difficult thing was like to just, and like our coaches will always tell us that like, hey, calm the fuck down. Like your guys are doing too much. You have a crowd over there. So like connect with them. So
Yeah.
for me, I think that was like the hardest part when I started was like, okay, like how can I connect with the crowd, because wrestling is not just moves. Like nobody cares about the moves. Maybe if you do like a nice flip, they'll care. But if you don't have the connection with the crowd, like they just don't fucking care. So I think like when we started, we were really struggling on creating that connection. But I believe we're at a part now. Like right now, I think we're really good at it. So yeah, yeah,
I
that
think
was like the hardest thing.
yeah, in those earlier years, you got to find yourselves. You got to find
Yeah, yeah,
what you're trying to do,
yeah,
what's your character gonna be, how are you gonna, there's a lot to that process. I know, like with me, I was never a baby face. I couldn't. I have a punchable face. I was always the
Right.
guy
yeah.
that can
Nice.
just go out there and incite a riot by just put a microphone in my hand, and it just came natural. Um, when you do find yourself, it becomes something very special and very different because it's like something will click. Uh, when you guys are coming up through the training process, which, to be fair, like, tell me what that's like in Portugal at that time, because again, this is 2016, 2017. This is almost 10 years ago, and wrestling's not in Portugal. It's not what it is now. And I think something that I do want to touch on is like, you guys don't really have a ring at that point in time to train in. You're literally training on mats. Go ahead.
Oh,
No,
actually,
actually, cool story.
cool story,
So
man. This one is nice.
we're from APW, which is in the south of Portugal. So APW is like the first Portuguese organization to have like a proper wrestling ring.
Hmm.
Because APW back in '06 they did shows with TNA, like Kurt Angle, AJ Styles.
Hmm.
So we have a ring the ring that we train in is the same ring where like AJ Styles used to have matches here in Portugal, Kurt Angle. So yeah, that
Sheamus.
so yeah, like we were lucky that when we started to train, we started in the ring. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Okay, so
very
you
privileged with.
perfect. Okay, because I've seen like fucking snapmares
yeah,
on mats, man. Like, so you guys did have a ring to get into to
yeah,
train
yeah,
Yeah,
in. Uh,
yeah. But at the same time, we do not have the ring always set up. So yeah, we had to do it on the mat sometimes. Yeah, but yeah, we had a ring. Yeah, it's like
so
we're
that
lucky. We're
that
lucky
was
boys.
like really a privilege to have that.
oh yeah, no, I 100%. It's with me. It was, I think I started training when I was 17, 16,
17.
16, 17, something like that. I was
Yeah,
fortunate
yeah.
enough to be in a ring, but it was definitely not the best. It definitely wasn't the best of shape. At what point in time do you guys, really start thinking about putting it together as a team? When does that conversation happen?
Uh, when we started, like our first matches were like separate, but then like our booker was like a no-brainer. He's like, "No, you guys are cousins. You're gonna be a tag team." But the thing was like there was no tag teams in Portugal.
Yeah, that was the problem. There was no division.
So we're just having matches, in tag team, but there was
The
nothing to gain.
the tag team matches at the time was like, oh, these two guys don't like these two guys, so they're gonna join forces and they're just gonna fight 2 on 2. We were like one of the first, like the first team.
The
There's like
first,
really
yeah, yeah,
blood and also like a team.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like matching gear and stuff. Like there was no tag team wrestling in Portugal. Like when we say like, oh, this is history because the first tag team title, like there was no tag team wrestling in Portugal. Like the
there was
tag
no
team,
division
the tag
basically.
team matches were just random people thrown together.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah,
How does that make you feel to know that you guys are on the
y-
forefront of, the boom of
you know,
tag team wrestling in Portugal, you know?
yeah, I'm happy because we've been fighting for this for a long time. We had a lot of matches like tag team matches. Like the winner gets nothing. You're not gonna get a title shot. You know what I mean?
Hmm. That's kind of
Basically,
where my head was going when
Yeah,
you guys were
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
explaining a second ago. I
But
mean, if you don't
but
have anything to fight for.
to be fair, at the time, like tag team matches weren't good either. So why
yeah,
why you gonna have like a tag team title when like there's not,
they were not the best.
you
As
know
you
what
can
I
say, it
mean?
was like a tag team match, but the match itself, it was more individual than
Yeah,
an actually tag teams, as you can say.
because there was not much experience in tag team wrestling in Portugal, so there was not like somebody who can come to you and say, "Hey, this is how you do tag team wrestling." Now it's kind of like you have to find out by yourself, watching tapes and trying stuff in the ring. So that's how it came
It's
about.
trial and error is kind of
Yeah,
what it sounds
yeah,
like, and truly, excuse me, that's the best way to learn, in my opinion.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
mean, you don't know unless you try, and if you're afraid to try, well, then you're never going to succeed. Uh,
Wh-
yeah.
What what we did like when we first started, we were like a tag team, but at the same time we're having like singles matches and stuff.
We were considered like the tag team, but every other time we didn't have like opponents, we used to go like
Solo,
singles
yeah,
matches,
yeah,
like solos,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden, boom, there's a tag team match, and oh, they are a real team, like a legit team, and let's
And
put these guys against them. So
and
basically, it
and
was
there
like,
were plans before to have like tag team titles, but it never
It,
came to be,
I,
just now.
it didn't until, old WrestleFest decided to change that narrative real
yeah,
quick.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I remember like, and he can confirm it. I remember like 2018 or something. Like our booker at the time in APW saying, "Oh, you guys gonna be the first tag team champions in Portugal," you know. And that was like 2018, so it was a long time ago.
It's funny how it comes full circle, though. You know,
Yeah,
it's
Right?
yeah,
really, it
yeah.
really is. And
That's the,
and to be fair, like what I enjoy about these conversations is I learn so much as we go. I didn't have any clue that you guys were coming up on 10 years in the industry and in the business. No clue, no concept of that at all. It's never translated, and I never put two and two together. But to see that you're coming up on that here probably in the next year or
yeah.
so.
I mean, to be fair, like we had our first match, what, 2008,
17.
yeah, 2017. So yeah, almost 10 years. Yeah, not even I think about it. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
times just flies.
2017, man. Yeah,
Well, when the scene over there starts to excuse me, starts to pop a little bit. Now, keep in mind, for context purposes, if you're here live with us, and by the way, guys, if you have questions, go ahead and you can drop them in chat, and will definitely relay them over. Uh, as the tag team scene is starting to kind of rebuild itself, what's that look like from you guys' perception and perspective? And again, context. I've stumbled across Portugal WrestleFest Almada 2 and fell in love with what was going on with the product. The next WrestleFest I saw, I want to say it was you guys versus Worst Generation. It was
yeah,
the 20-minute Broadway. Uh,
Yeah, that was the one.
and I'll tell you guys because I've never had the opportunity to tell you to your faces, but I've said it to Nelson and Lobo and several other people in the Portuguese market. Uh, I put that tag match, and keep in mind, I watch a lot of independent wrestling from all parts of the globe. There's not a market that I haven't dove into at some point. I put that tag match up there as one of my 2024 matches of the year. I thought that was fantastic. I thought that it was put together and structured very well, and I thought that the work was second to none. And I say that to say, as this scene is starting to build, and you start to see some teams coming together, Worst Generation, you start seeing Lobo and Gomez, you start seeing Nelson and Ricky Boy. What's your perception like? Because now it's almost like, the carrot's been dangled out there in front of your faces for so long. You're going to be this, you're going to be tag champs, you're going to be this. You're starting to see that is now a viable possibility because teams are popping up. How's that? What's where your head's at with that, and where's your mentality?
For me, gotta say it was like really good news because finally we can have like some legit tag teams, after a while being just us, and they're ba- being just us in the division of the tag team, finally having some new ones, and also like bear in mind like matching gears, like not same styles, but matching styles like with one another, personalities as well, everything that makes like a great tag team. For me, I'm very happy and very fortunate to be at this point in time, wrestling in the Portuguese scene, alongside with my cousin, of course, and seeing like a lot of tag teams coming up together, and not just like random dudes, like legitimate tag teams. It's very happy to see, and everybody like fighting for the spot. Uh, for now, the tag team champions, basically.
yeah. So I think like with the time as well, like just wrestling in Portugal got better. You know, like when we started, there was like not too many guys with much experience, to teach. And
What
now,
uh,
like,
what do you contribute to the growth on the Portuguese scene? I don't mean to step on you, but when you
you're
said
fine.
that, that's exactly like what I'm would kind of be interested to see like where your perspective. You guys are there. What suddenly changed?
So I think like the the new wave of like talent who came like to train and stuff, you know,
Hmm.
it's we have really passionate people like teaching right now, people who have a lot more experience, and then like the people that were younger at that time also got like us. We got like more experience. So like we have like a new wave of talent, which is really good, which is the wave that you're seeing right now, you know? Because when we were like in when we started in 2017 and 2018, it wasn't like it like the people who were wrestling at the time. I don't want to say that they were bad, you know, but they were just not as good and as smooth as the new kids nowadays, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because they have like a lot of passion and they were taught well, you know. That's what's changed, in my opinion, you know. Like when you present something, you know, it has to be good for people to
And
come
also, I
back.
think the presentation now is more believable in a way
Yeah, yeah.
than way in the back.
We have people like Nelson who like really is a passionate guy for wrestling, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like he has a really great passion for WrestleFest. So that helps a lot, you know, passion, you know,
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
believes in the product. And
Uh,
then when you believe in something, like what you're gonna present is gonna be good, you know, and people will come back to see it. So I think that's changed, you know, like we have more passionate people right now, and like the talent are better overall, you know.
I
That's what I think.
I used to always say that you can always be ready for professional wrestling, but professional wrestling has to be ready for you. And I
Yeah,
think
Oh
that
yeah.
that fits perfectly into what is going on over in Portugal and what you guys are over there accomplishing because it's hard work and you guys are starting from the ground up and we get to this point now. Like I said, I go back to the tag match with Worst Generation, 20 minutes. I grew like massive respect for you guys because it was my
thank you,
second match at that point that I think I'd seen from you. So it's not like I'd seen
thank you.
much. And from there, I, little birdie named Nelson tells me that he's crowning tag champions. And I said to myself, when? And it got the show date, and I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And this is just me from the States, man. Because I'm a big tag team guy. I used to I was singles predominantly throughout my career, but I could carry a tag match and I could work a tag match with anybody. Back in my day,
Nice.
and I'm an old fuck. I'm the get off my lawn guy. I was a Rock and Roll Express. I was a Midnight Express guy.
Oh man. Well,
Those were my teams that I grew up watching. Fucking Horsemen, Tully and Arn. There's the technical and mechanical guys are what I've thrived on. And when I understand that there's now tag champions, my first question was, please tell me it's the main event. And he did. He was like, that's going to headline. Nobody knows, but that's going to be the main event. So I already knew at this point this is going to be special. And then he surprises me with the tag team tournament or the tag team series, if you will. And
Yeah,
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 yeah.
really good.
I want to throw some major props you guys' way, as that was filmed in a day, and
Oh yeah, man.
one of you took a
Oh,
nasty, nasty,
oh
nasty
my god.
fucking knee.
Oh.
Oh my god, man. We just keep on rewatching that over and over again. It was so nasty and brutal, man.
Yeah, it wasn't the best day of my life, you know.
Well, let's chat about it for a minute. Not necessarily about the getting busted open. I mean, it was rough, but the idea that now it's almost like I would equivalent it to like a Super J Cup series or something of that nature. It's you guys, and there's three or four other teams: Nelson and Ricky, Lobo and Gomez, Claudia, and I forget Claudia's partner's name, but that dude's over like Rover right now.
Paulinho.
Uh,
He
Paulinho.
doesn't deserve a mention, so fuck Paulinho like that.
I
He
I
doesn't
s-
deserve.
I say that's Claudia's tag team partner, just to piss her off,
He's probably the second partner.
just to piss her off, because I know she's not gonna, she hates it. When this idea is thrown your guys' way about, hey, we gotta get, and I understand, like, you want to get to this point, you gotta determine who is going to be challenging for these belts. what was your guys' thought process? And then kind of walk me through the filming of it to get everything done because there was I don't know 8 9 matches that you guys had to get in literally 6 hours 7 hours something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to
Is it?
talk about it? I can talk.
Yeah,
I'm,
sure. You go. You go.
I mean, it wasn't the best day of my life, as you can imagine. Like the thought process, I think it was really good executed by the WrestleFest part. Good production. I don't know. You say you saw it, right?
Mm-hmm. Watched it
Like I
back.
think it was very, very good production, especially for the Portuguese scene. Really good production. One thing that WrestleFest really does well is like production. I think it's in par with like the indies outside of Portugal.
Yeah, it shot well.
But yeah, it wasn't an easy day for me, especially for me, because we had to get some matches in it, and there was no crowd, so it's not like the same adrenaline that you have in the other matches.
Mm-hmm.
When you go like through the curtain and you see all of the people. Like here, there's no people to see. Here, there's no curtain to go through. You're just starting in the ring. And it's like first match, I get like all busted open, man, like really, really nasty cut
Mm-hmm.
on my face, like blood everywhere, and I still have to do 2 matches. So it wasn't really, really a good day for me. But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it was
but
all worth it.
but it shows that here's the thing. They say all the time this isn't ballet. It's this
It
is
isn't,
there's shit.
Sure, man.
But a lot of people, the biggest misconception, a half an inch or a quarter of an inch on any land can break a neck.
yeah,
Literally,
yeah,
this is facts. But you took a shot and you got back up and you didn't
yeah,
so to see it happening and to know like there's a deeper story and like there were some stitches that were involved. There's a lot going on
yeah,
here, and to have to turn around and come back out, and you did it, and you did it flawlessly. Not only did you do it flawlessly, Stefan picked up some slack there, and the guys that you were working with made sure that you were safe. Now I can see this just because of being involved in the industry and taking care of people inside the ring. When I see stuff like that, man, that makes me do a happy dance because I know that not only are you're not in the best shape at this point, but your guys are taking care of you. You're still able to come out and perform safely and get through it and make the best of it. It's one of those you got to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. It happened, but you
exactly. Yeah,
persevered
yeah,
through it and came out way cleaner on the other side. And on for
of course.
television purposes, dude, not to you know blow smoke or anything, but makes you come off looking like a badass when you take a shot like that and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
come back out. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it adds credibility, instant
of
credibility.
course,
I told
of
Paulo
course.
this based off of his match with Leo, this last Almada 3, the spot that everybody's talking about. And I was like, dude, if I didn't know, I didn't have a problem with it because if I didn't know that you were a badass, I came out of that show knowing that you're a badass. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like it works for your character too. Like
yeah, yeah.
it was one of those things, man. Let me get your perspective, Stefan. Like Michael takes this fucking this
Oh
shot in the
man.
first match, like and it's
Oh,
not and again, like there's pressure on you guys here because you're on time frame. Like it's not a
yeah.
I don't want to make light of this by any means because dude, your fucking mouth was jacked. What are you thinking, Stefan, as this is happening? And how are you thinking that you're going to get through the rest of the show?
Oh man, gotta say, especially because this was like televised, and recorded. We Either way, we only had well, like one take for all of these matches.
Yeah, so we did like one take. We did not
We
like
didn't do
retake
like any
nothing.
rewinds, any of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. We did one take on. Uh, I gotta say, sometimes I try to be like optimistic, and as soon as he took that knee to the face, I was like, all right, let me go check on him if he's okay. As soon as he's okay, I was like, how can we use this to benefit like our underdog story to the championships? That was my point of view. I was like, what can we do now, like to make us look like we really want to fight for this, you know, and we were able to do like anything to get there, and also at the same time fighting a lot of times like in the same day, going cold and then back again fighting for nobody. It was
Yeah, it
tough as
was really
well,
cool. Yeah,
and then
really.
going back again, waiting, and then cold, and then back again. You know, like fighting for nobody, just for us. Like, well, it was for us mostly. It was tough as well. But I gotta say, I was very optimistic that day, and also it really helps because everybody's like professionals down to it. Everybody's trying to be the most professionals that we have. I think that's just one of the things that I love mostly in the Portuguese scene right now. Everybody takes stuff seriously and they do it as more professionally as they can. And thankfully, I was very optimistic that day. Otherwise, Lobo was gonna have a really bad day, man.
Yeah,
Low.
yeah. No, but it was like a good experience, you know.
It was something different, challenging as well. And we
Exactly,
like challenging because
exactly. Yeah,
it puts us out there, and then when you get thrown out there, either you swim or you drown.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
Hmm.
what I like, I
yeah.
think.
And I kind of like got that fighting spirit, you know. Like you get like all busted open, you know, but you're like, let's fucking go. I can fucking get through this, you know. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, you know. So it's wrestling. It's
It,
wrestling.
No ballet, man.
yep. It is definitely not ballet. Shit happens, and it
But
happens
you
frequently.
suck it up. You suck it up, and you go through it, brother, and you win the tag team titles. You know. We got
I
that sweet revenge, you know. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
used to
Who's
tell guys.
laughing now, Lobo?
Used
Who's
to t-
laughing now?
used to tell guys I worked with back in the day, "Suck it up, Buttercup. It'll be all right."
Yeah,
Danielle
yes.
Oh
pops
yeah.
in chat. I want to give a shout out to my boy. Glad to have you in, sir.
Don't do it.
Um,
Nah, don't shout out Damian.
I mean,
Don't do it.
I
I mean, he
I know.
lost. It, probably.
Yeah,
Just a bunch of losers.
we're gonna get there. I promise you. We're gonna get to that match too because I watched that back last night. I'm still hungover, just so we're clear.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
It's been a long day, and Nelson's internet kept going out. So I decided we'd have a drinking game, and I ended up taking like, I don't know 7 or 8 shots. But I got through the first half. Yeah, it was. I mean, matter of fact, the bottle's still right here. Like that was full last night.
I, is that water that you're drinking? I don't
No,
think it's water.
no, that's Jim Beam
oh
apple.
damn.
Yeah,
Apple.
I got a cabinet in the other room that's just got stuff sitting in it. So I just went
Nice.
and grabbed
Man.
one. But I get to. I'm
That's
sorry,
all
I didn't mean to detract.
cool, you know. Like young guys just drink water, you know. It
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah, that's why. That's why I'm the get off my lawn guy, and you're rocking tag titles. That's what that's all about, right there. I I think the notion. So again, I watch everything that you guys do. Like, and when I say you guys, I mean WrestleFest. It's become a standing kind of engagement with Nelson. And we try and get on a couple of different guys. It's been Lobo. We've looked at trying to get Claudia on for one of the watchbacks and stuff like that. But anytime something comes out, it's destination television. When I saw or when he told me that this was, he didn't tell me what was happening. He said that just to keep my eyes peeled because something was going to drop. And when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to watch it because I'm going to watch it live. I want to see it and react to it because that's what this platform is. That's what it started as. Just watching independent wrestling, throwing a dart at the fucking wall, at the map. Where does it land and find a Fed? Um, I was really impressed with the overall presentation of it and the fact that you say that. And I know that you didn't mean it like, hey, it was for us. It's just for us. For us talent. It did tell a story, and it got to where it needed to get to, how it needed to get there. I mean, there's an interesting whole situation. It leads to Lobo and Gomez and you guys. And when I found out this is the main event, again, like I said earlier, I knew it was going to be something special. I knew it was going to be special regardless because there's only one first of anything. Period. It's just there's no there's not a second person that can come behind you. And with the movement that has been going on in Portugal and the work rate that you guys have been putting in, Again, going back to your 20-minute Broadway with Worst Generation, the tag tournament, the series, getting into the finals of this thing, I had to go out of my way not to see spoilers. Like I had to block WrestleFest on Instagram and social media and tell Lobo that he couldn't talk to me for, a week and a half or 2 weeks because I didn't want it to be spoiled because that then takes my reaction away, right? Like I want to
That's
see it and I
true.
want to experience it with the crowd that, Portugal has brought to my channel. Reality. Uh, there's I get so many followers whenever we cover Portugal. It's just one of those
Yes.
things. I sit down and I'm watching this back, and I can only imagine what's running through you guys' emotional state because you're coming into this big. This is a big fight. This is a big opportunity for all four of you. You're going out. You're taking center stage. What's running through your head the day of when you guys are trying to put it together to figure out what this plan's going to be and what this looks like? How are you feeling about making history? Like regardless win or lose, history's made just in the match, let
Yeah.
alone coming out with the tag titles. Walk me through your thought process, and I would imagine, man, it's got to be bittersweet because it's 7 years in and the carrot's there. It's been dangled, and now you're about to chomp that motherfucker down.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it was like it was really bittersweet. Uh, it wasn't the easiest day on the office, I might say. I don't usually get nervous like for matches. I usually get nervous like 15 minutes before or something like that. You start to feel like the butterfly in the stomach. But I remember that on that day I was like nervous just like all day,
Hmm.
because we felt like we got to deliver something. And the spot that we were put, I don't think like it was the easiest spot because we're like really used to being heels, like heel characters. But then
Hmm.
on that day, we're fighting like another heel tag team. So it's like, okay, how can we get the crowd behind us? You
Yeah.
know,
Again, another challenge.
you know,
Another challenge for us.
like the show before, we were like saying to the crowd, "Hey, fuck you guys! We don't need
Hmm.
you in the next match. Like we need them. Like what do we do?" So yeah, that was like a big challenge. And then you had like the tag champs on the line, the first ever match for the tag team title. So yeah,
And also main event as well. So you add that everything up is like, oh man, it's like
yeah, like we
anxiety all over the place.
and like that thought, that like yeah, you have to deliver. You have
I
to.
gotta say the pressure was very high.
Yeah,
It's very high.
Let's add in the fact that, oh, by the way, you guys are winning the titles. You know,
Oh man,
we
let's
found
go
and
ahead.
we found out the same day. We found out just the same day we're gonna win the title. We didn't know we were gonna win the title.
I think we found out like 2 or 3 hours before the show,
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, Nelson just kept that from you. He was being a douchebag. That's what that was.
yeah,
Yeah, I
fucking
thought
Nelson.
I thought he was gonna say like before we went to the ring. I was
Yeah.
thought you or he was gonna say like in private to us, but then we had the show meeting and stuff like that, and then they announced it. And then yeah, if that was a challenge, then this was a. I think this was the biggest challenge that we had,
Yeah,
especially because main events, first time ever for the championships, and also fighting another heel team. I think
yeah,
we were thrown out there to swim
yeah.
or go down.
I mean, we did our best. I think that the match went out all right. And like in the end, when we won, it was like that feeling like, oh, did this really just happen? It's like you have the title, but you're like, oh shit, I can't believe this just happened.
Hmm.
It's like that
It didn't feel real.
I can't like yeah, I can't describe it. You're like you just won, but you're like shit, let's just like kick in.
All of the match felt real, except for the last part. It didn't feel real.
Yeah, yeah,
Does it feel real now?
yeah.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's sinking. It's sinking.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Feels real.
There's no doubt.
It's very
Oh
real,
yeah.
and I can
We
tell
go
you
we go
from.
to Lisbon by private plane now, so it feels damn real to me now, man. Yeah, yeah,
I can tell you from my perspective when I had the opportunity to sit down and watch that back with Lobo and Nelson, it truly it was a moment. And it's a moment that nobody will ever be able to take away from you. It's a moment
yeah.
that nobody
Exactly.
and for and really and truly for your for the culture over there in on the scene in Portugal. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I make no bones about it. I have said it and I'll preach it and I'll shout it from the rooftops. In the next 5 years, WrestleFest Portugal is going to be more than a monthly show. There's just no way that it doesn't.
Hope
You know, there's no hope.
Hope so, man.
I am like a telepathic wrestling guru. That's what I call
I
myself.
can see that. I
The
can see that. I can see that.
and I say this just on sitting back and watching, and I watch and evaluate a lot of different things, and this is how I'm comfortable in saying that. I mean, this is so much more. There's going to be so much more coming, and this is just the bottom layer. You guys have busted your ass, and you work so hard. You know, you're gonna be the first tag champions. You're gonna be the first tag champions, but nothing would never materialize. No belts were ever produced. Nothing ever happened. The moment that belts are produced, the
Yeah,
stews
and
are
we worked really hard for it, not just in the wrestling ring, but also outside, presentation and just going to the gym and like perseverance always, like
well. I think that
you know,
the biggest misconception that I guess a lot of people will never understand are the sacrifices that are made. You know,
yeah,
you give up time with friends, you give up time with family, you give up times with significant
Yeah.
others. Uh,
I mean,
Go ahead.
you find us in the gym every day, like I'm not kidding, like we really take this seriously. We really want to present ourselves as something special.
Oh yeah, man. Missing like birthdays and stuff.
We're,
Like it
we're
starts from here.
yeah, going to wrestling like in front of 15 people, in front of 20 people. Maybe if we have to have a travel like to Spain to wrestle in front of like 50, 60 people, we do it. So we worked hard for this. So like I think when we got it, it was like, okay, we deserved it.
Oh yeah,
I was I definitely feel like we deserved it. We deserved that moment.
oh yeah.
We
You
definitely did.
proved me wrong. I mean, literally. I think I told you before we came on the air. I had Gomez and Lobo winning that match. In my head,
Yeah.
if I that's the direction that I was gonna go. Not because you're not
Look at
good or you're not as good as they are. They were established guys, and there could have been some money in the chase. But it goes back to it. If you're chasing, then you're gonna have to chase his babyface, and neither one of you are wanting to go down that road. So it just it don't
Oh,
make that doesn't make sense. And in the end result, you come out the young lions, as I'll refer to it, versus the old guard, and the young lions have consumed, and you know I couldn't be prouder of you guys. And I know
thank you, man.
you don't know me from fucking Adam, but I think that what you've done here is number one, you've made history, and it's not going to change. There will always be the record books that have Michael and Stefan as the national champions, tag team champions, first time. And now you're moving forward and building a division. I mean, truly, that's what's happening over on the WrestleFest side of the equation. You're building the
oh
division.
yeah, yeah. They
Um,
can call us king of the division. That's what they can call us.
I, you know, case in point, go back to Almada 3. I literally watched that last night. And had you guys were kicking it off with Worst Generation. one of the that as soon as I knew that this was the start of the show, I was locked in because again, I got 20-minute Broadway in my head. What are you going to do to top it? And I think I went on
That
record.
also was a challenge.
What's
That
that?
also was a very nice challenge. Topping the other one, I
Yeah, that
think
was a challenge as
that
well.
was on my mind as well. Like topping the other one.
Well, you had new gear. You talking about that earlier, and I was waiting because I
Oh
saw that.
yeah,
I was like, oh, look at these guys. They're rocking new gear. It's fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
and you guys knocked that one out of the park too. I think there's some there's obviously no more worst generation after Almada 3, but there was some really good chemistry with you and Damiao and Luis. I
oh yeah.
a very perfect yin and yang to kind of get this division going and getting
Oh, man.
the a story right off the bat. If you look at the 20-minute Broadway, the tournament situation. Now here.
Oh, and since we're talking about that, it started way before that. So on the first WrestleFest, actually, since we're talking about this, I'm just gonna say it real quickly. On the first WrestleFest, it was it was before Damian joined Luis Mestre. Um, he was independent at the time, but there was another guy who was with Luis Mestre, his name was Luis Mira. So they formed the tag team, the Mayhem, if I'm not mistaken. And at the time, pops up the first WrestleFest. And then
Second one. It
for,
was Lisboa WrestleFest.
no,
Yeah,
fully,
yeah.
fully.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
It was in
United
Park
take.
Mayer, if I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
mistaken.
Hmm.
So they formed a new tag team. It was supposed to be us two against that new tag team to start off the tag division. Unfortunately, I had to take some break at the time, personal stuff. So we talked, and they chosen like Demian to replace me. So we believed in him basically to replace me. At the end of the match, he basically turns on him and joins them. They form the tree. They
Mm.
formed a trio tag, a
Hmm.
trio basically. And they beat him after the match basically, which made me come back. And then we had our fight since then. It was like what, 3 years now?
Yeah. 3 years.
And
If you
then
make
the other guys leaves them too, and then they make the worst generation. And then we had the second match, and now the third match, and now there's no more worst
yeah,
generation, only us
yeah,
with
yeah.
the belts.
So this is like a
So
story. It's a really cool story. If you like follow every WrestleFest, so like the first one, it's a really cool story because you get like to follow
hmm
everything. It started like just me partnering with Damião. That didn't work out. He was back, and then we kicked Damião alike with Luis Mestre, and then we kicked their asses. So yeah,
it sounds like to me that the Stews are the greatest tag team in Portugal. That's what it sounds like to me.
yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
getting out of this conversation right
Oh
here
man,
is that
Sounds
that's
great.
I
Yeah,
think there's no doubt.
there
Even the other guys, they keep even if they say they're the best tag team, nobody believes us
deep,
like
deep,
us. You
deep
know?
down, deep down, even if they say they are the best tag team, deep down they know that we are the best tag
Yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah. I think just being realistic. You know, I think
And
that's the truth.
yeah, and like it's just the connection that we have. Like we're blood, we're cousins.
yeah.
We started tag team when we were like 10 years old against the pillows in our house. So we have a lot of experience. We are the best tag team in Portugal, and maybe like 5 years from now, like in Europe, we'll say, let's see.
Hopefully,
Well, let me ask you this: right around the corner, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's next weekend. Is WrestleFest Porto?
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Is that something that you guys are a part of? And if you are, is there anything you can tell us about
No,
it? This is
yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk
Oh
about
man,
it.
that's a funny.
Let's talk about it.
That's
Like,
funny.
you should go and ask Nelson, where the fuck is my match at Porto WrestleFest? Because I can't find it anywhere.
oh
Everything is announced except for us, man.
Like,
We just
oh
kept in the dark.
like,
How the
like,
fuck do you do that to your tag champs?
I'll ask you, what do you get when you do like the best tag team matches ever in Portugal? What do you get for that? You're not getting booked in the next show. That's what you get.
oh
No,
Nelson,
and
shame on you.
Oh,
yeah,
he's gonna get his ass whooped.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, well,
You
I
know,
don't imagine that that disrespect would go
yeah.
unchecked.
Not, not
So, I
not
mean,
happy about it.
you know
Not
what?
happy about it because it's gonna be a really historic show. It's the first show in Porto since 2007, I believe, or 2006. I don't know, but it's a long time.
You know what it
It's
tells
gonna
me?
be really good. They're sold out already. They already
Yeah.
sold, and it's like great show. And they sold every seat. And like
I
they could have a good team match, but they're not gonna get one. They're not
you,
gonna get one.
you know what that you know what it reminds me of, and I say this, and I've said it several times. The saying back in my day, when there wasn't an opportunity presented for me, I just went and made one.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you can always
Exactly.
just go and make your own. You know, opportunity. If the man with the pen doesn't want to put the tag champions on the show, uh,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
disrespect works two
Gotta make
ways.
you look good. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, of
Just
course.
saying.
Of course. Yeah.
Um,
I'm not happy about it.
I wouldn't be either. That's kind of insulting. That's just
Am I
my.
gonna do something about it? Maybe. Maybe
Maybe we'll do
maybe
something
I
about
will.
That's
I'm
why.
not happy about it.
That's why I say, yeah, I've been known to make moments myself, and if I wasn't necessarily booked on a card, there's nothing
Yeah.
to stop you from showing up and setting an example. You know.
Oh yeah, of course.
I appreciate Nelson. I really do, but you fucked up this time, bro. You did.
What
Like
would you like to see happen? Moving forward. I mean, obviously Nelson's gonna have his pay his penance for not booking you on Porto. That's
maybe next time I hope I get booked. Nah, just kidding, man. But I really hope that for the future just the Portuguese wrestling just keeps on growing. It really has a lot of potential. People with really big passion and not just WrestleFest, because we have like small, I can say smaller, I think it's okay in this year, like APW where we're from, like shout out to APW. We used to have like here in Portimao, we used to have like 15 persons in the crowd.
Oh man.
Like I'm not even kidding. Like we started out with 15 and now we're doing all right. We always sell out like every chair that we have,
hmm
in our shows. So we're growing. So I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy that there is a Portuguese wrestling show almost every week. Not just WrestleFest, but we
Yeah.
have like Wrestling Portugal. I think you heard
hmm
of it, based in Lisbon. And we have APW here based in Algarve. We have Invicta in Porto, WrestleFest. So I just hope it keeps on growing, man.
Yeah.
And I hope that we all stick together because if we work together, because we're not a lot of people, so we have to work together, for this to grow.
And I think that's the best part of this point in time in wrestling Portugal. I think people are more like coherent with each other. They're not as selfish. I think the word selfish, yeah. They used to be back in the day, back when we
Yeah.
started, man.
Back when we
Um,
started, like people used to talk shit about another, like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's like there was two companies at the time. When we started, it was APW and Wrestling Portugal, WP, and for their past reasons, they were not very coherent with each other. There was no. They were like they're separate owns. We didn't trade any talent and stuff like that. But thankfully, also don't want to be like bragging, but also thankfully us two broke that glass ceiling of like getting called up there to fight as well and having the opportunity to fight for a different audience. That was very nice as well. So I think thankfully we are like very fortunate to be at this point in time in Portugal where people are like more like professionals and they treat everything professionally, and
hmm
not with bitter agony, I would say.
I will say this when it comes to independent wrestling and professional wrestling in general across the world, and it's really simple. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's greener where you
Yeah.
water it. And if you water it, it's Field of Dreams at that point. If you build it, they will come. WrestleFest Portugal is a pretty clear indication of that. The growth of your audience sizes over the last 5 or 6 years and maintaining is positive, proof positive that you are doing something right. Something is happening there, and I truly am just pleased that I'm able to sit back and watch and see this happen because it is something special. It's something that needs to happen. It's needed to happen for a long time in Portugal, and now there's some really solid growth happening, and you guys are a
Yeah.
part of it. And it I used to always say it takes a village, and everybody in the village has got a role, and everybody's role is important. Period.
Oh
We're
yeah.
we're building the dream, and if you're like-minded and you get like-minded people, you have better results. Uh,
Oh
that
yeah. Couldn't say it any better, man. I think that's the whole point. I think
well,
that's the whole point.
I 100% agree too, and I think that you get that I really think that your journey's just beginning. And as we'll start winding things down here, I got a couple more questions for you because I'm very curious. Um, when it comes to the future of the Stews, uh, what are some of your long-term goals? Where do you see yourselves? Maybe in the next 5 years. Where would you like to see yourselves?
Man, I really, I really would love like if everything goes like really, really nicely. Even if it doesn't, I really would love for us to be out there and show like what the Portuguese wrestling is all about. That we have like good talent in here, and in
Hmm.
bringing this country up with our name
Yeah.
as we go moving forward. Of course, I want to become like making a living out of this. I think that's one of my goals,
Yeah.
most important goals.
Yeah. So like I think like mine, like first of all, I want to have a really good title reign, you know? I would yeah, I would just like for us to remember like not only as the first, but
That's the
like
best.
yeah, as the best, like really good title reign. I want to defend the titles in all like the Portuguese promotions, just
Hmm.
to show out there is good tag team wrestling in Portugal and that we are the best at it and just go wherever the flow takes us, if we have to go outside our country, we will go and we'll show you like why Portuguese tag team wrestling is good, we will. And we'll keep working hard and we'll keep getting better because that's what we do every time. Like even if it does not go as well, you find us the next day in the gym and we'll work to get better at it. Like that I can guarantee you. So yeah, that's like the goal for me. Like 5 years from now, like we'll try to go like as far as possible as we can, you know. And even if it does not go like our way, I want people to remember us as a pretty good tag team and like a good title reign. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this then too, because you just said something that I was like, because I have an answer to this question already in my head. Uh, if it comes to traveling, it comes to getting out and getting out of Portugal and doing some traveling across the world. If you could get in the ring with tag teams on the independent scene right now, who would they be?
Ooh.
You want to go first?
Sure. Sure, I can go first. This one will be like really, really close to us. So the Blacklist from Barcelona,
Yeah, definitely the
definitely
blacklist.
kicking some
Yeah,
ass. Luke Jacobs and his tag team partner. Oh man, they're doing some pretty good work as well. Uh, I was gonna say a tag team, but they're no longer like a tag team anymore. Back in the day, we used what was it, like 2018, maybe 2017. We
yeah,
had the seminar with the Aussie Open, so that was
Hmm.
like Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. Oh man, I really wanted to had that opportunity to go against them, but unfortunately, well, time passes by and They're so upfront. We need to catch on.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. If we being realistic, I would love for us to go against like which I think is Spain's biggest team, the Barcelona Blacklist. I hope like we can make that possible. I think we can make that possible, you know. And I think like for sure that would be like a very, very good match. Here in Portugal, I would like to face the murder business. I don't know if you ever heard of it's
Mm-hmm.
Damian's new little, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
like to be and if we want to exaggerate a little bit, I would love to face like the Rascals, you know, because they have like a really cool style. So yeah,
You
that's
know,
it.
and you say the Rascals, and they're very close to the team that popped in my head when you were talking about international travel. It was just like a fucking Lycos gym over in the UK, over in
Cool.
Progress.
Sorry.
Lycos gym, Kid
Oh,
Oh,
Lycos.
great,
like
great.
us. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, man. I
I
forget
think,
about those. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
dude, I think
They're-
that y'all styles would just mesh so well together. I went, that
Yeah, that would be nice. I
there's
think
a
like us could just start now with Zozoy, if I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, their style, I think it's like amazing how they do it. It's got a
it would be one of those like a warm knife through butter. Take my money. Shut up and take my money. That's exactly how I'd respond to that one if I got an opportunity to see that.
As crazy as it sounds, I think it can happen, you know. So
I
it's
think it
fucking
can
good,
too.
man.
I've got some
Yeah.
really good friends with Progress. They're friends of our channel. They let me
Let's see
stream
what
they let me stream their stuff while they're doing it live. It's great. So
fucking
oh man,
good,
that's
man.
amazing.
then I got let me
We're
ask
gonna
you
work for it.
what's
We're
that?
gonna work for it.
I listen. Oh, I'm not. I just say, hey guys, take a look at them. Just look at them and tell me what you
Yeah,
think. Uh,
yeah.
Let me ask you this, and again, you're going to be put on the spot with this one. So if you're watching live here on Twitch, or if you're checking us out on replay on YouTube, let me preface this question. None of these questions that I've asked them today, this is an organic conversation. So if your
Yeah,
name is not fucking mentioned, don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Just my social media is on the fucking screen. Send me a DM. Uh, I'm gonna ask you this question, and I'm gonna give you the answer as to why I asked it after I hear your answers. So I don't want to influence it in any way, shape, or form. I ask everybody when they come on the show, who should I be watching? And what I mean by that is, you know, your neck of the woods or independent talent that you guys watch and take inspiration from. Who should I be watching if I was to randomly just pull up a Stu's greatest hits of independent wrestling? Who would be on it?
are you talking about like Portuguese or like
It can be in
all
Portugal.
thinking the
It can be in Portugal and it can be outside of Portugal. Obviously, you guys just mentioned the team out of Barcelona. So I know about those cats, but you know, who else out there that you kind of take a peek at?
That's a hard man. That's a
Oh
hard one.
Lord,
Let me
man.
think about it, you know? Let me go with the easiest way, like if you want like to watch Portugal and they're really putting us in the spot, you know, like maybe if I don't like say somebody, like it's just because I'm forgetting, you know, it's not because like I don't like the person. But yeah, you have some very good people with a lot of future in Portugal, as you know, you know. Like we're talking about, you know, Damião for sure, you know.
Oh
Really
yeah,
good kid, you know. Really good wrestle. We have Luis Mestre, really good guy. Like we have great chemistry with those guys. Who else
I
here?
think one of the best chemistries that we ever had. Also, Rafael Pedres.
mm,
Oh yeah, Pedro's is really good here in Portugal.
Oh man, he has so much potential as well. I think one of the best chemistries that I ever had was with that guy.
I
Um,
had a
Man, like yeah,
fan,
Portugal
fantastic match
is
with
full of
Ricky Boy at
oh yeah, yeah,
Ricky
Alma.
boy.
That was
Ricky,
fantastic.
man.
Ricky's amazing as well, you know.
Um, they're also amazing, man. Gotta be honest.
I'm thinking like international, like who is my favorite indie wrestler, you know? Like I'm just
Yeah,
Can you
trying.
give us some
if you don't have an
from
answer,
the
it's okay. It's
UK and Spain, man? I gotta be honest. Like Michael Oku,
There you go, one. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
Michael Okuman.
yeah.
I
Leon
really love what Leon
Slater.
Slater,
Yeah,
Zozoya as well from Spain, man.
amazing.
Uh, I used to watch. I used to follow like almost every day, like in the social media and the matches and stuff. Back we known him as a kid when he was once here at APW. Now it's Axiom. Oh man, I like really loved how the future changed for him in about like 6, 7, about 8 years. How everything changed for him,
Hmm.
and he's a really working hard guy. He was just fighting here in Spain when we went to did like, how do you say it?
Seven.
The seminar. He was there as well. So it was called the White Wolf. Him and Carlos Romo, which was Adam Chase at the time. They were a tag team facing against Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. Oh man, that tag team match was like amazing, and it skyrocketed the Triple W scene.
Even like Carl Fletcher's like one like he's not really indie because he's in AEW, but he's like one of my like
He
inspirational
had a
because he's really young and he's really good, man.
right.
He's really jacked. He looks like $1 million.
That
So
boy, big man, he
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
Right.
big.
So that's a big inspiration for me. Because I we met him, and then you see him on TV and like, man, he made it.
Facts. No, it's that is the reason I asked those questions or asked that question specifically is, as you know, our platform is independent wrestling, and how do we come across stuff outside of stumbling through it is talking to tremendous pieces of talent all over the world because you guys are either in the ring with them or you're watching them, and there's
Of
so
course.
much professional wrestling everywhere. I can't see it all. So I need recommendations. And what'll happen is I take your names and I throw them on my list and I will start researching and I'll start doing shows on them. And when I do shows on them, I refer back to this as, this the Stews. So we should probably check these guys out. So that's what we're going to do today. It helps us grow, helps the platform grow. It
Of course.
puts new people in front of the audience that I cater to, which are those who really enjoy independent wrestling everywhere, not just in one neck of the woods. There are hidden gems all over the place. I stumbled
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
into two right here about a year ago.
no,
You know what I mean? Like this is just it's how it is. It's how it rolls. And I'm kind of want to slap myself in the fucking face because we've made it a little over an hour into this conversation, and you guys are the national tag champions in Portugal. Why the fuck did I not ask you who are your tag team influences? What?
I
Good.
think we just let the conversation roll. That was it.
so mine is like, I don't know, like if it's a strange one, but it's like, of course, I love the Hardys. Like this is like the
Hmm.
most like. But I really enjoy watching Brian Kendrick and Paul London for some reason. Like when I have like
Oh, they were so good, man.
like sometimes when
Hmm.
I need ideas for a match, I'll go just like, okay, let me see Paul London and Brian Kendrick like 05, 06 match. And also, yeah, who's about to say? It's late here, man. Sorry, my head's not working
Nope.
so well.
You're fine.
But yeah, Motor City Machine Guns. But like the matches that they had like in TNA, like in
Facts.
2010,
Oh
2011.
man.
It's not that they're not good now, but like whenever I need like some inspiration, I'll go and check like their earlier like stuff, like 2010, 2009 TNA. Really love
Hmm.
that.
What about you, Stefan?
I'm gonna go with the big three, man. I'm gonna go with Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, and the Hardys, man. I
I
think
I was always down for a good 5 second pose.
yeah,
That was
oh
all.
man, they just blew my mind, especially after like watching those all of their tag matches, even the trios that they did. Oh man, it just blew my mind, and it made me feel more in love with the tag team and what the tag teams can do. You know,
Yeah, no,
I
it
think that
they
was.
back in the heyday, tag teams carried professional wrestling. Just facts.
They
Oh yeah.
did.
This is this
They
is
Oh
this
did.
yeah.
is, and I think that we're on the track to maybe getting back there for a hot minute, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I hope
I
so. I hope so.
I do want to thank both of you guys so much for setting aside time because it is late. It's late over there to come in and chat with me about what you guys have going on. And I've really enjoyed this conversation with you guys so far. And I also want to say congratulations because I didn't get a chance to say congratulations
Thank
to
you, man.
you,
Thank you.
not only on winning the championships, the successful defenses that you've had along the way, and what is possibly coming next because this is good to sit back and see, and good to sit back and watch because you guys are truly doing some of your best work. Keep in mind, I've been watching for a year, but it's getting better and better and better every outing that I see you in the ring. It is a treat to be able to sit back and watch you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the next 5 years have in store for you both.
Thank you,
Thank you,
man.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity as well for having us on the show, man. Thank you very much,
Oh, this is just the
and thank
Yeah.
you for
first.
the work.
We don't close doors here. We keep them open. To circle back around, and then a piece of what I love about these organic conversations is it leaves a lot of meat on the bone. So
That
Yeah.
is
the door is always open to be able to come back. Well, hey,
Yeah.
there's
guys,
also so much to talk about.
We have a lot of history, man. A lot of it. Like
Stu's
we
Stu's.
talk maybe like 5% of everything, you know?
Oh
Like we have a
yeah,
lot of it.
no, that's just it. That's why I like these little, I like to just sit down. And it kind of is what separates us a little bit from what other podcasters and guys and gals that are trying to do the same thing. I don't want to sound like a fucking robot. I don't want to sit
Yeah.
here and say, "Hey, how old were you when you started watching wrestling? Tell me about your first wrestling match." How, like I will get there. And then if we don't get to it, it leaves it open for a part 2. And
Get there
we
next
No,
time. Yeah.
it's just the organic flow. The platform's not going anywhere. And truly, like I said prior to, would love to have you back on when we do a watch along for one of the WrestleFest
Yeah.
shows. We
oh,
can
that would be nice.
always bring you back on for
Do it.
some other stuff down the line too. It's been fun, man. You guys are great. Before we
Thank you,
get
man.
ready to sign off, what would you like to say to the people who are live here on Twitch and who are going to be watching on replay on YouTube?
So first of all, I'd like to say that we don't need none of y'all because we are the best, you know. Shout out to Stuciedad, which is our faction here in Portugal that we created, you know, with Rodrigues, with Mota. We're the best thing going around, not just in WrestleFest, but in the whole Portuguese situation, you know. The most underrated wrestler here in Portugal, you know. Here, the youngest champion of all time in Portugal, you know. We
That
just
and those are just facts,
those
man.
are just facts. We're gonna elevate this shit, you know, man. No, I'm just kidding. I would just like to thank
And we're looking
everybody.
to add some more gold to our group, so
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a
I
fact.
think
That's
that's what we're eyeballing now.
keep your eyes on us. Keep your eyes on us because we're working hard. We're gonna do some great stuff, you know. You're gonna be all proud of us. But we just don't care, you know, because we are the best.
Well, yep, you've got a hell of a lot of cheering going on in the chat off of that statement, sir.
There you go,
Guys,
man.
let
I'm not gonna even check it, you know. I'm not gonna
Eh,
even check it, man.
let me tell you this: if you're watching, the easiest way that you can support independent wrestling is by liking, sharing, and subscribing. It has been on the screen the entire show, right underneath them. You can see Michael at I_am_Stu PW. Sorry, I have one contact in. And Stefan
Yeah.
is Stefan Stu with 2 U's. Hit that follow button over on Instagram,
You
and
better
you
follow.
and you
Better.
you can stay on top of what these guys have going on. They are on the forefront of starting a revolution down in Portugal, or over in Portugal, I should say, along with the
Ooh,
entire crew who are crushing it on what started as a quarterly basis is turning into what looks like a monthly, and it's only going to get better. It's the
yeah,
easiest way. Just hit that subscribe button.
yeah.
If you're not following us on social media, shame on you. You already should be.
Yes.
Uh,
You
get
should
us
be
at
following from the side.
Get us at
With
CCP
our
underscore podcasting over on YouTube. Smash that subscribe button at CCP podcasting. I am 150 away from 1,000, and I can extend the middle finger, and I will name the puppy who told me that it would never happen if we get there.
fuck them.
Fuck
I,
them doubters, man.
I,
Look at us now, man.
Sky's the limit.
Look at
Sky's
us
the
now.
limit, man.
You're talking with the tag champs. Come
oh
on.
yeah, this is just, we're just getting started. Listen, guys, this has been fun.
Also, amazing privilege.
No, the privilege is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. And I truly appreciate, again, taking the time to chill with me and talk with me about what you guys have going on. They had a fantastic time with the chat. If you guys, again, if you've been here this long, we appreciate you. For the National Tag Team Champions of Portugal, Michael and Stefan Stu. I am Chris Page. We will see you next time.